Hi, my name is Ashley Clark. I am one of the practice representatives at the Carlson Clinic, and I want to welcome you all to a class that I think will make a huge difference in the enjoyment of your life and in the lives of your family. I want to talk to you all about how you can stay young for your first 100 years. All right, now I know that some of you are thinking, now wait just a minute. The title sounds catchy, but do I really need to know how to stay young for 100 years? This sounds pretty far-fetched and ambitious. Well, it really is not. You need to start thinking about what it means for you and your family to live a long time. So let's take a look at some facts. In the year 1900, the average lifespan was 49 years old. Now, there is no question that this was because many people died when they were very young. We didn't have the kind of cures and we didn't provide the kind of health care that we provide today. But this is the point. Everybody's chances of living a long, healthy life was much less back then. And as a matter of fact, the average lifespan today is 77.6 years and growing. In a recent study from the scientists at the University of Texas reported on the Today Show that by the year 2050, there will be over 800,000 Americans over the age of 100 and many living to 150. So what does that mean? It means that your kids need to know more about how to stay young for their first 100 years, then they need to wonder about how they're going to spend their inheritance. Because you're probably going to live so long that they may be retired themselves before they can even get your inheritance. So yes, this is a topic you and your family need to know about. If you're going to live for 100 years, we need that long life to be a quality long life. We don't merely want to be able to exist on this planet. We want to be able to live and work and play on this planet. We want to have a quality life. Now, we have a whole group of baby boomers that are moving into the over 50 phase of life, and we can see in large numbers what the effects of that long life can be. Long life reveals that we will have some major areas of health concern after 50 if we don't do something before we are 50 to prevent those problems. These are areas that we have never seen before because we haven't had such large numbers reaching such a ripe old age. For example, now we are continually being confronted with the devastation of mental diseases like Alzheimer's. This disease did not just start. We just see it a lot more because dementia doesn't usually come on a person until they are 70 or older. Now we realize that the chances are much greater that we will reach this age. We need to take some precautions to make sure we can still use our minds when we get to this age. We also see the importance of taking care of our skin. Old age has brought on a huge growth in cosmetic surgery. More and more people are trying to correct the wrinkle problems that come with growing older. But the biggest problem we have seen come about the increased lifespan in this increase is musculoskeletal problems. In other words, our mobility function. The ability to move around like we used to. We have increased the odds of living past the age of 80, and we have increased our life's activities, but we have not changed the way we take care of our spine. We are the first generation to witness the ramifications that long life creates. It reveals the areas of neglect. Now, the stats show the most common cause of functional disabilities in persons over the age of 50 years is spinal disorders. Wow, that's really important to know. How many of you plan on living past the age of 50? How many of you think your family will live past the age of 50? Let's think of this as an example. If your house was going to be broken into and somebody was going to steal all of your possessions, I knew who it was that was planning on doing it, and I also knew the time they were going to do it. And I told you about it. Would you do something about it to stop it, or would you just let it happen? Well, now I'm able to tell you what is going to rob you of your functional capabilities and when it's going to happen. Are you going to do something about it? Or are you just going to let it happen? Of course not. So let's prevent it. Just like we would prevent somebody from breaking into our home if we could. But I think we can all agree that we should work harder to prevent our health from being stolen and our mobility function than we should our possessions from being stolen. Think of it this way. If we lose our mobility at age 65 and we live to 105, that is 40 years of immobility and pain. So let's look at some areas of healthcare that we have already made some adjustments and improvements on our health. Let's look at the advancements we have made in tooth decay. We used to have many more cavities and loss of teeth in years past than we do now. We take so much better care of our teeth now with all kinds of preventative care measures, and now our teeth last longer and cause us less pain. More and more people are living with less wrinkles. That's right, there has been a 465% increase in the number of people wanting to get rid of wrinkles just since 1997. That's 12 million people that have had cosmetic adjustments just since last year to get rid of another ramification of getting older, wrinkles. Now, I'm all for us living longer and having lasting teeth and less wrinkles, but I think all of us can agree you can't move. A lack of mobility will make you look a lot older than crow's feet. The only reason we respond to our teeth and our wrinkles before our spine and joints is for the simple fact, if our spine were on our face, we would take better care of it. We don't wait until our teeth fall out before we take care of them, and now we must wait until our back goes out before we take care of that either. You take preventative steps to have pearly whites, and you must take preventative steps to have good mobility, since the chances are absolutely huge that you will live to 30 to 40 years past the age of 50. Why is this even more important than your teeth? Because there's no such thing as a spine transplant. You can get a new set of teeth, and there are many other organs that can be replaced. But if you don't take care of your spine, there's no going back like you can with your teeth. There is no crown, no replacement. You just have to live with the pain. And don't forget, this isn't limited to back pain. You can't get a new neck either. 1 in every 3 people suffers today with neck pain past the age of 50. Now let's see a raising of hands. How many of you would like to use your neck past the age of 50 without experiencing pain? Right? Great. If 1 out of every 3 people have bad neck pain and 85 out of 100 have bad back pain, that is about as high statistics as I would think anyone would want to be convinced that we need to do something preventative about this. But just in case you need a little more convincing, let's take a look at what would happen if we don't do anything preventative about this. What happens if we just let nature take its course? Take a look at this mobility scale. Now the numbers on the bottom of the scale represent your age. The numbers on the side of the scale represent the percentage of maximum mobility that you have. In other words, if we take a look at the graph where you see the blue line, you can see that you reach 100% mobility at age 23. Now look at how that blue line drops. If we just let nature take its course, you can see here that you will lose about 50% of that mobility you had when you were 23 at age 50. Now I'm all sure that any of us around the age of 50 would testify that about having 50% of that mobility we had when we were 23 is probably pretty conservative. Now, look at how that blue line continues to drop like a rock. By the time we are 60, we only have about 25% of that mobility we had when we were 23. Now, the big question to this revealing graph is, can we do anything to change this scale? Do we have to accept this as just the way it is, or can we alter the results? The good news is, with preventative care, we can make a big improvement on the line of this scale. Take a look at the red line on this graph and see what happens if we just let nature take its course. And then let's look at the green line on this graph and see how it can change with some preventative care. On this green line, you can see where your mobility can actually be held at about 75% through the age of 80 years old. All right, now this is what you want and what you need. That is what you want for your family as well. If we are going to be here, we might as well be able to move and function. So why not take the steps necessary to make this happen? Well, one of you may be thinking that this is perfect if, I'm young, but what about those of us who have already experienced pain? What about all of us who are already past 50? Is it too late to start? Absolutely not. In fact, I want to congratulate you on getting here now. It's never too late to do the right thing. We want to get you on track for a great life ahead, and this is how we can do it. The first thing you need to do is follow through with the entire recommendation of care that you were given. The reason I mentioned following through is because you have already lived such a long time with the mentality that you only take care of the joints and the spine if you're in pain. This means it's going to be easy for you to think when you get out of pain, there's no longer need for treatments. But listen, if you drop out after your pain relief and you're never going to change the results of that scale we just looked at. Pain is always the last to show and the first to go. The only way you can change this scale is to follow through with all 3 phases of your recommended care. So let's take a look at what those 3 phases are. The first phase is the pain relief stage. This is a reminder for some of you, but let's review and make sure we understand the cause of your pain and other health-related problems. You have called what is subluxations, which is the misalignment of the vertebrae causing nerve interference. It's the pinching of the nerve, which can impact many areas and organs of the body, causing a lot of dis-ease in ways that you may never relate to a back problem. Picture it like this. If you hooked up a garden hose and turned on the water, it works perfectly, unless there is a twist or a kink in that hose. If the hose has gotten twisted, it stops the flow of water that should be going through the hose. We might call that a subluxation of the hose. In other words, the misalignment of your spine is causing nerve interference, or is stopping the flow of messages from the nerves to the other organs or body parts, causing back pain and a lot of physical ailments due to nerve interference. When the nerve interference is removed, the nerve flow is restored, and so is your health. So how do we remove that nerve interference? We remove it through a series of adjustments. The adjustment gradually moves your spine back in alignment and away from the nerve, allowing the body to heal itself. You say, great, I get a series of adjustments that removes the interference, getting rid of pain and the problem. So why can't I just stop after the pain's gone? It's important to emphasize this is only the first phase of your care, and this alone will never solve your problem or change that mobility scale that we looked at. We must proceed to phase 2 of care, which is stabilization care. There is a reason why you must not stop with your care after you get out of pain. Your spine has actually been misaligned for such a long time, and your body has now accepted that misalignment as being correct. Your body thinks this is the way it is supposed to be because it has been that way for such a long time. Now the body and the muscles and the spine must be retrained. The spine must remain in a proper position for such a long time for the body to accept this as the proper alignment as the norm. This is called stabilization, and this does take time. Unless the spine and the joints are retrained with adjustments and kept in the proper position for a longer period of time, your body will naturally pull your spine right back into that misaligned condition. Why does this take time and work? Well, as an example, can you go to the gym one visit and get into shape? Can you lift weights one time and enjoy bigger muscles? We all wish we could go to the gym one time and come out looking like Mr. or Miss Olympia, but we all know that that can't be done. It takes time and it takes work. To get your musculoskeletal system stabilized, it is going to take some time and a number of treatments, and you will need all of them. Did you go to the orthodontist and get your teeth straightened on the first visit? Of course not. Once again, it took time and work. And even after that teeth were straight, you kept your braces on for a long time and wore a retainer for even longer. In that same way, I have given you a recommendation of care that will not only allow you to get out of pain, but you must follow through so that you can get it in a stabilized condition, meaning your body has accepted a healthy, proper alignment as the normal for your body. Once you have reached this stabilized condition, we will then dismiss you from your active care and move you into the 3rd phase of your recovery. That is the maintenance or preventative stage of your care. I get the most excited about this stage of your care because this is where we enable you to change that mobility scale and make a difference in the quality of your life. It isn't enough for us to want to get you out of pain. We want to move you to an opportunity where you can enjoy life. This is what you want, isn't it? The good news is, this stage will not require a lot of time or money. It will be simple and affordable, but at the same time, the dividends you are paid in health will make it well worth the effort. Preventative care is essential towards changing that mobility scale in your lifetime. Even as I'm talking, I can hear the thoughts running through the head saying, I knew it, I heard it before, the chiropractor will make me come back and back for the rest of my life. Well, maybe you're right. But before you make any judgments, let me ask you a question. What doctor have you ever been to that has said, don't come back again? Did you ever go to the dentist and the dentist said, don't come back until your teeth fall out? He or she wouldn't say that because that would be malpractice. They push you to do the right thing, which is preventative care. Do you remember when you first got your eyes checked in probably about the 3rd grade? And the doctor told you, great news, your eyes are fine. And as far as we're concerned, you need never to come back again. Well, unless, you lose your eyesight altogether, which in that case, maybe you should come back. I think it's time for all of us to be honest. There is no doctor who has or should recommend that you ignore your health until there is a problem. No doctor could recommend that you never come back, and we certainly can't either, because that wouldn't be what you need to enjoy your life. Be assured, we don't want you to come in more times than you have to. Our adjusting rooms are full as it is. The purpose of our recommendations of care is to change that mobility scale for your life. We can't remove your wrinkles, we can't make your teeth stay white, but we can enable you to move so you can work and play and stay young for your first 100 years. Now, I realize that I sound rather passionate about this subject, and I get anxious about everyone experiencing the benefits of chiropractic care, but let me just give you a short reason why I feel so passionate about this. Growing up, I was in cheerleading and I was in dance, and, that takes a lot on your body. But then I also had a child at a very young age, and I didn't realize how much it took a toll on my body. And for such a long time that I just took that as being normal. I would, just live with the pain, and I would take my ibuprofen or acetaminophen and just kind of mask it and make sure that that was okay, and I would just move on with my day. But at the end of the night, I would just ache. And then a little while ago, I actually had my boyfriend, he went and got me a massage, which is kind of like the acetaminophen or the ibuprofen. It just kind of masked the pain. It made me feel good for a very temporary amount of time. My mom and my dad both have disc degenerative disease, and my aunt is actually fused from about here all the way down through her hips. And I actually had to take a step back and be like, I don't want to have to go through those problems. I don't want to have to look at the cause of what's going on and be faced with surgery. I wanted to do something preventative before those things actually hit me. So that's when I started seeing a chiropractor, and it wasn't instant, but it was very quickly that I was able to feel the difference and how better I felt. I was able to bend down and pick up my the toys, and I was able to enjoy being to run around with my kid in the backyard. So it was great. Now, right about this time, you should be thinking, wait, before you quit, I do care about my health and the future of my family. I have family and friends that I know have never thought about or really known the kind of information that we've been talking about today. What about their health? What about their mobility scale? Is there anything that I can do about that? The answer is absolutely. Now, you should know that it is never too soon to start. In fact, even a newborn child has already experienced great trauma to the spine during childbirth and should be examined. When you think about the tremendous pressure that is put on the neck and the spine during childbirth, I think it's easy for you to see we actually start our lives with untreated problems. Obviously, your family needs to come in and be evaluated for a simple and easy health plan towards preventing a life of immobility. The good news is, with a little preventative care, we can eliminate much of their pain and management in later years. This will be one of the best investments you can make in their retirement years. They must be able to move. To illustrate how sincere we are about preventative care, I have asked my assistant, Erin, to help me help you. She is right up at the front desk. She has our appointment book scheduled with her right now with available times for your family. Like we said, we want to put their health and future ahead of everything else. So to show you how serious we are about this, we will allow you to bring your family and friends in to have a complete first day of services, which includes exams, x-rays if necessary, for a total cost of only $20. And then that $20 we will then donate to the YMCA, which is going to be helping swimming lessons and help grades K through 12, help with math, English, and learning after school programs. And that's all going to be done for free. If you go ahead and schedule today, this allows them to get started with preventative care and see for themselves how much it can mean to their health without it being a cost issue. To take advantage of this opportunity, you have to schedule with Erin today. And since I know you don't know their schedule, I will tell you that if you take the time, if the time that you scheduled them becomes impossible for them to make, they can call and reschedule because they're already on the books and it won't require any explanations or arrangements other than a new time. So like I said, Erin's right up front and all it costs is $20 and it's a great investment on their health and the improvements of their life. Thank you.